Well, it's a trial that has had the eyes of the nation, the Alec Murdaugh double murder trial. For more perspective on today's proceedings, let's bring back Joshua Ritter, criminal defense attorney and host of the podcast True Crime Daily. Joshua, thank you for coming back with us here. So now we know that Alec will be back on the stand tomorrow morning. They went ahead, broke for the day just a few moments ago. The prosecution, as you alluded to earlier, really seems to be trying to get Murdaugh out of his comfort zone, trying to make him, seem a bit defensive. But do you think that's working?
So far, no. I think so far he's really holding his own. He's holding his temper. He's certainly not getting upset by the questions. When he is getting upset, it's where it's appropriate. It's where he's talking about his lost wife and child, and then he gets emotional. But he's not allowing the prosecutor to get under his skin. Even when the prosecutor is kind of being insulting and trying to get chippy with him, he's not responding in kind. And he's remaining a respectfulness towards him. I think all of this is going really well. Now, he's a trained trial lawyer himself, so that's where a lot of this is coming from. But I think he was well prepared by his lawyers. But we'll see if he can keep this up tomorrow as well, because I don't think this is going to be a very short cross-examination.
And Joshua, as you said, he is a trained lawyer, obviously right now disgraced former lawyer. But what in his testimony kind of made you say, okay, it's very obvious that this guy knows what he's doing, particularly in a trial?
Yeah, he's paying very close attention to the questions that are being asked, and he won't give any ground. I mean, several times he was asked questions on, would you describe yourself as coming from a prominent family? And he says, well, what do you mean by that? I don't know if I understand what you mean by the word prominent, and I don't understand what you mean by the word, having a special standing in the community. Even on these kind of simple points that the prosecutor was trying to make, he really gave no ground, but all while doing it respectfully and not appearing as though he was trying to just be obstreperous to the prosecutor. So I think he's a trained person in cross-examination. He knows how to ask questions. He knows how to perform in a deposition, and he's doing a very good job for himself, at least through this afternoon.
Well, yeah, Joshua, I mean, he certainly knows what he's doing. And so that leads to my next question. I mean, he admitted to lying to investigators, and he admitted to not only lying, but lying multiple times. What stood out to you the most about that?
You knew he was going to have to address that somehow, because that really is what this case hinges on, is all the times that he lied, and the prosecution can now prove through other evidence that he has in fact lied. And how would he handle that? Well, he admits it. He says, I did lie, but he says, I was dealing with this addiction, and it had my brain thinking in a paranoid type way, and I wasn't reasoning correctly. I don't know if the jurors will buy that. It's an explanation. It certainly is a way to explain why he lied.
Joshua, let me interrupt you really quickly, because we do have sound from him in the courtroom today alluding to that. Let's listen to that, and then I'll have you respond.
As my addiction evolved over time, I would get in these situations or circumstances where I would get paranoid thinking.
All right, so as you said, I mean, he admits to it. He's saying that he would get this paranoid thinking. Does that potentially, though, work against him?
It could. I think what the prosecution needs to go back to, though, is that you didn't just lie one time, sir, because you were suffering from paranoia. You lied several times. You doubled down on those lies. We kept on coming back to you and confronting you about those lies, and you stuck to your story. And it's only here and now, when you're on trial for murder, that you're now finally admitting that you were lying. I think that's the tactic that they need to take. But it really, if the jurors say, listen, a person with a 20-year addiction to opioids is going to behave in a very strange way, and he's now admitting to us on the stand that he did lie, that may carry the day for him. I don't know, at least with a few jurors. Remember, he only has to convince a couple of them.
Yeah, and as we look at this video, I mean, Joshua, you saw it. We've seen it throughout the trial. Alec getting very emotional today, crying at times, mucus literally falling into his lap many times. Let's listen and watch.
He's just wonderful. Wonderful.
And it's one of the things you enjoy doing together was just riding the property?
I love doing anything with Paw. It was an absolute delight.
All right, so he's crying there, again referring to Paw, pet name for his son, Paul, his murdered son, Paul. Joshua, do you think this came off as a grieving and distressed father and husband, or did it seem more like an act? Was it contrived?
So much attention has been made over his emotional reactions in court. And a lot of people I know have criticized it by saying it looks fake, it looks planned. He knows he's playing to the jury. This to me seems sincere because, like you said, you could see actual tears. You could see stuff coming out of his nose. This man is certainly seems to be outwardly manifesting the feelings that he's talking about having. And that's right there in front of the jurors. He's only a few feet away from them. And you notice how he's facing them through this entire testimony. He's talking directly to them. Also a sign of a seasoned person inside of a courtroom. I think it came across as genuine. It's really going to be up to this prosecutor, and maybe that's why he's taking the tactic that he is to try to show that, hey, you're just putting on a show here for all of us. But so far, I think it's been very convincing.
All right, and let's rewind all the way to when Alec actually took the stand. How telling is it that the defense team specified the defendant wants to take the stand? Was there anything we should read into that?
I think that was their way of signaling to the jury. That's a good catch. I think that's perhaps their way of signaling to the jury that he wants his moment here. He wants to tell you folks the truth. This isn't some defense team tactic that we're putting him on. He wants to have his opportunity, his time to tell you what really happened that night. Perhaps they're going to read into that. It is a good call to have noticed that clever choice of words.
And just really quickly, do you think the defense got anything out of him being on the stand today?
I think they did. I don't think this case until today was going very well for them. And the case that they had put on for themselves, I don't think had scored many points. But so far, he seems to be doing exactly what was called upon him to do. Now, we'll see if he's able to keep that up, because what the jurors are going to do, one slip up, one lie, one withholding of the truth from them while he's on the stand staring at them under testimony. And that may be the entire thing that they hang their hats upon if they convict this man.
All right. Well, criminal defense attorney Joshua Ritter, you certainly know what you're talking about. Thank you for talking with us.